Okay, so let's have a look at the information request add-on inside of ServiceM8. We know that as a business, you can spend lots of time chasing up simple questions from a customer, and there's also times where you just aren't able to go out to the site to have a conversation with a customer and see what the job will involve. The information request add-on is a perfect way to deal with these problems. It allows you to quickly and easily ask customers questions directly through an email or SMS and make it really easy for them to reply, without the need for a phone call or face-to-face visit. Today we will look at two examples. Firstly, we will build out an information request form where we add questions manually and have a look at all the types of questions we have access to. And then we will look at another example where we can build out a template to quickly send out a set group of questions for jobs which may occur frequently. So let's go ahead and have a look at how this add-on would work in the context of a real job. So let's move into the dispatch board and we'll open up a job. In this case, let's open up this job for buns in the oven. And you can see here there's a leaking pipe that needs fixing. In this case, we don't know much about this leaking pipe, so let's go ahead and send them an information request to ask a few more details about the leaking pipe. So to do this, we can go into add-ons and then information request. And once we're here, we can start building out our questions. So to get started, it's going to ask us what we want to do. From here, we can add a note or a description first, or we can just start adding questions straight away. In this case, let's add a description/note and press next. Once this box opens up, I'm going to fill out the description that I want to show at the top of my information request. In this case, it's going to be, please, could you provide answers to the following questions to help us prepare for this job? Once we have done this, we can look to start adding questions by pressing the blue Add More button. So let's click this drop-down menu and have a look at the types of questions we can ask. Firstly, we have a general question, which will give the customer a text box in which they can write out an answer. A yes or no question, which will give the customer two checkboxes, yes or no. Then we can request an image or document, which will allow the customer to upload photos or documents. And then finally, we have request a booking, which allows customers to book a time slot for the job. We'll explain this one a bit more when we come to it. The only other option here we have is apply a template, but we're going to have a look at that in our second example. Once we have selected our type of question, we can go ahead and press next. And from here we can continue to add questions. So the easiest way to do this is just by pressing the blue Add More button, selecting our type of question, in this case ask a yes or no question, and hitting next. And we can keep going through this way, adding all our types of questions we want, and then at the end we'll come back and write the questions. So add more, request an image, next, add more, request a document, next, add more, request a booking, next. And then if we scroll back up, we can start filling out these questions. So for this job, we're going to use the example questions. So for the general question, we'll ask, where is the leak located? For the yes or no question, we'll ask, have you shut the water off? For the request an image section, we'll ask, please provide an image of the leaking tap. And for the request a document section, we're going to say upload a copy of your insurance policy. First up, let's fill out our question, or in this case it's more of a note, yearly boiler service. And now we will be able to set the date range for when we would like to carry out this work. So let's go with between the 21st and the 28th of November. Let's assume the job's going to take us 2 hours. And then below this, we can say which of our employees is going to carry out the work. When it comes to the customer filling out the information request, the system will provide a variety of bookable time slots for the job to be carried out, based on the details we just provided, in this case a 2-hour time slot between the 21st and 28th of November. The great part about this is that the system will not show any time slots in which our employee Sam is unavailable or already has a job booked in. So once again, let's go ahead and press next. If we scroll up a bit here, I just want to point out one other thing. If we decide we don't actually need any of these questions, we can remove them by simply pressing the red X next to the question we don't want. For now, let's say we don't want any documents from our customer, so we can go ahead and remove it by pressing the red X. We can now scroll back down and let's have a look at how we can send off this information request. So we have two options when sending off our information request. The first one is email and the second is SMS. So in this case, let's have a look at how we can do both. First things first, you select the option you want. So email, this will automatically get populated with the email address of our client. And same for the SMS. We can click that And once again, it'll automatically populate the phone number. When sending these information requests for your own jobs, it's always worth sending them as an SMS if you're requesting any images. When a customer is filling out the questions from their phone, they will be prompted to use the camera on the phone to take the photos, which is much easier for them than attaching a photo to an email. As this is just for demonstration purposes, we're just going to send an email. We can deselect this checkbox and then move over here and press send. We're going to get our green tick box saying everything is fine, and now let's go ahead and have a look at what this would look like for a customer. So let's close down this. Once again, open add-ons, come down to information request. And now that this is opened up, you'll be able to see that we can start making another information request, or you can see any other previous information requests we have sent, along with some of the details related to that information request. So we'll be able to see the date, the time, and who sent it off. We'll also be able to resend this information request from here. And finally, we'll be able to view it. So let's go ahead and do that. Once this opens up, we're going to be able to see the information request in the exact same way a customer would. So let's work through these, pretending we're a customer. So let's say, where is the leak located? Under the kitchen sink. Have you shut the water off? This is our yes or no question. So as you can see, the customer will have two options, yes or no. So let's go with yes. We can upload a photo. So let's do that by pressing choose file. Select our photo and press open. And then below this, we can start looking at booking our time slot. As mentioned before, we're going to be able to see any time slots our employee Sam is available to do this work between the dates of the 21st and 28th of November, and taking into account not to show any bookings where Sam is unavailable or already booked in for another job. So as a customer, all you would have to do here is scroll through the list and find the time slot you would like. In this case, let's have a look at this one. Monday the 23rd of November at 6 p.m. If we scroll down to the bottom, we can see that there's also this other option here. None of these suit me. So if the customer decides they're not free at any of these booking times, they can press this, and then we can get back to them later in regards to booking a different time slot. Now that we're happy with this, let's go ahead and press send. From here, we'll get our confirmation saying thanks for your response. And now we can move back into our job card and see what changes have been made. So if we move back to our dispatch board, close this down, and reopen up our job to get the fresh data. And from here, we're going to be able to see all the answers from our customer all in one place. So it makes it really easy for all our staff to come into this job and have a look at any details related to this job. Let's have a quick look at what's been added to the job card. So as you can see, the job's been scheduled in for Sam on the 23rd at 6 p.m. Our questions have been answered. So where is the leak located? Under the kitchen sink. Have you shut the water off? Yes. And the photo which we attached is also here as well. Now that we have looked at building out our information request for more unique situations, let's look at how we can create a template to speed up this process for jobs where we frequently need to ask the same questions. To do this, we can go into add-ons and look for our information request add-on. Cool. So now that we're in here, you can see that we don't have any templates currently set up. So let's go ahead and add one. To do this, we just press this blue Create Template button. For this example, let's use a different situation for a different kind of job. Let's assume we are a company that hires out skips, and we frequently need to ask customers about the initial drop-off of the skip. Let's give this a name. Let's say skip hire. Below this, we're going to have the option to say if this job needs a booking or not. In this case, let's press yes. Further down, we have the description. So let's fill this out. And now that we're happy with this, we can start looking at adding our questions. So first things first, let's ask a general question. It's worth noting that we have all the same question types available from when we looked at them in the previous example, except for the booking slot question. In the case of templates, this is covered by the require a booking checkbox, which we just selected. Since we want to ask a general question, we can go ahead and press ask a general question and then press next. Similar to what we did in the previous example, we will select our type of questions, fill out the question we want to ask, then continue to add questions by pressing the blue Add More button. So let's quickly speed through this. One other thing which I didn't mention previously is that we can also add multiple of the same types of questions. So in this case, we've already got one Ask a General question. Let's go ahead and add one more of these. So we can do it the exact same way. Add more, ask a general question, next. And let's add this one in. If we're not happy with any of these questions, we can remove them by pressing the red X. But if we are happy, let's go ahead and press save. Now that we've added a template in, you can see that we can now edit it or delete it from within this templates page. But since we're happy with this, let's go ahead and have a look at how it would work within a job. Once again, let's move back to the dispatch board. And for this job, let's create a new job for Soft Rolls Bakery. So come in here, customer, Soft Rolls Bakery, give it a description. And then let's move into our add-ons and information request. As you can see here, we haven't made any information requests related to this job. So let's have a look at how we can use the template. To do so, click on this drop-down box, press Apply Template. We can select our template from this drop-down list, in this case, Skip Hire, and then press Next. Now you can see that all the questions we set up in our template have been populated in here, along with the type of the question, as well as the question we asked. If we scroll down to the bottom here, the only changes we'll need to make to this is in regards to the booking time slot. So let's give it a name. Let's select our date range, in this case 22nd to the 26th. Let's say this job will take us 1 hour, and in this case let's assign it to Ben. Let's scroll down, press Next. Once again, let's assume we want to send this via email, so we can tick the Send Information Request via email box. Our email address is filled in here, and let's go ahead and press Send. Once again, we get the tick box saying everything's all good. If we did want to view the information request, we could do so by closing this down, going to Add-ons, Information Requests, and pressing View. Since we've already covered this in the previous example, I'll leave it here. And that's it for information requests. As you can see, they're great for speeding up communication and making things easier for both you and the customer. We know you'll love it, and we hope you find some great uses for it.